Beyond Stardom today, we check out the form of 5 superstars from very different walks of life. This action hero's start in Hollywood came with a small role in 1981's Endless Love, starring fellow Scientologist and sometime friend Brooke Shields. After stripping down to his jocks in Risky Business, Tom Cruise became a star in his own right and is now tied with Tom Hanks as the only actors to have made 7 films in a row that have made in excess of $100 million at the box office. In 2006, Forbes magazine ranked him as the world's most powerful celebrity.
I do think as movie stars go, there's only a handful of people who wield as much power as he does, and it's probably Julia Roberts, Tom Hanks, Mel Gibson, Tom Cruise. I really think those 4 are the epicenter of power in the movie industry as far as actors and actresses go. Is he as much of a control freak as the stories that we've heard about him trying to pull the South Park episode that made fun of him off the air? He denies that. I don't know if we'll ever really know what happened with that story, but there are those kind of rumors out there.
In fact, there have been all kinds of rumors out there about Tom Cruise, who was born in New York on July 3rd, 1962. One of the most popular topics of speculation has revolved around his sexuality. Despite being married 3 times, rumors persist that Tom is living a lie. In 1998, he sued a British tabloid for claiming his marriage to Nicole Kidman was a sham, designed to cover up his homosexuality. And in 2001, he filed a lawsuit against a gay porn actor who allegedly claimed to have had an affair with the actor. Even in 2005, when he began dating Katie Holmes, he had to endure rumblings that the relationship was a mutually beneficial setup, designed to boost Katie's career in return for being Tom's beard. He certainly did his best to scotch those rumors with copious public declarations of love. After the notorious couch-hopping episode on Oprah, came the countless canoodles on camera. And then the proposal.
Yes, I proposed to Kate last night.
Laying to rest further rumors about the motility of Tom's sperm, Katie announced that she was pregnant. And in April 2006, she gave birth to their daughter Suri, giving Tom another reason to crow. But he saved the mother of all PDAs for their wedding extravaganza in November. The ceremony was staged in a medieval castle 40 kilometers from Rome. Hollywood was like a ghost town, with anyone who was anyone invited to witness Tomcat's commitment. But in putting paid to some of the old rumors, Tom was unwittingly opening up a whole new can of worms. His couch-hopping antics set off whispers that he was unhinged and made him an easy target for ridicule. His own attempts to laugh at himself did nothing to stem the tide of jokes and parodies that turned him into an overnight laughingstock. His controversial comments condemning the use of drugs to treat postnatal depression also won him bad press. It all gave Paramount Pictures enough of an excuse to end its 14-year relationship with Tom, citing the economic damage done to his value as an actor and producer by his controversial behavior and views. Despite all that, Mission Impossible 3 was a box office smash, and Tom and his producing partner announced they were taking over United Artists Film Studio. Dodging bullets more nimbly than his MI alter ego, Tom somehow came out on top.
His popularity has taken a hit, his Q rating has gone down in the last year, but it seems as if a lot of people separate their personal feelings about him and their feelings about being a fan of his work. I think you'll talk to a lot of people who say, yeah, I'm sick of seeing him on talk shows, but I'm still going to see his movie. And in the midst of all of the gossip and controversy that was surrounding him last year, he also had the biggest movie of his career, War of the Worlds. So it doesn't seem to be hurting him.
This cat catwalk queen wanted to be a professional volleyball player and considered playing for the Brazilian team. No doubt Gisele Bündchen's accountant was happy with her eventual career choice, which has led her to become the highest-paid model in the world. In 2006 alone, Forbes magazine put her earnings total at an incredible $33 million, adding to her estimated $150 million fortune and making the Brazilian beauty the richest ever supermodel. Since becoming the Vogue VH1 Model of the Year in 1999, Gisele has dazzled designers and sponsors as much with her sparkling personality as with her stunning looks. As well as gracing the catwalks of Paris, Milan, London, and New York, she's been the face of countless campaigns for the likes of Christian Dior, Balenciaga, Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, Givenchy, Bulgari, Valentino, and Ralph Lauren. On a contract worth $5 million a year, she's also been the body of lingerie giant Victoria's Secret.
Sparkle's enough for me. Does it sparkle enough for you? Hi, this is Gisele. I'm here today at the Victoria's Secret photo shoot, shooting the new Victoria's Secret Fantasy Bra. Say hello to my little friend.
Her success at Victoria's Secret has been largely down to her talent as a spokeswoman. Unlike the less vocal Kate Moss, she's more than happy to wax lyrical at promotional events.
Every woman is beautiful, I think. I think the woman's body is beautiful. And I think it's just about you finding a comfort zone in yourself and accepting it and saying, you know what, this is my body, this is who I am. Not everybody is, 5'10" with like 120 pounds, you know what I mean? A lot of my sisters are not. I have 5 sisters, And I think, and they're all very different. And as long as you are comfortable with your skin and you accept who you are and learn how to love who you are, I think there is, then you feel comfortable in being in lingerie.
Acknowledging her abundance of genetic blessings, she stresses the importance of making the best of what we've got.
But I think it's important for people to accept themselves just for their lives, because you're gonna live one life and you wanna make sure that you're living the best you can. And if you don't like yourself, then you have to work at liking yourself. I think that's an important thing. You don't want to live your whole life not liking yourself. So you have to, then there's something wrong with you, that you have to kind of think about it and say, you have to, validate yourself and actually, see what are the things, because we all have faults and we all have good things about us. So you have to find the things that you find great about yourself. So.
Positive thinking is clearly not a problem for Gisele, who is just as at home filming an ad on a Brazilian beach as kicking a football with Arsenal striker Thierry Henry to help launch a new luxury watch brand.
My country is known for football, so thanks, I'm Brazilian. I'm sorry, but Arsenal is great. I think they're amazing. But I have to stick with the Brazilians on this one because, as you know, we have to be with our country.
Very passionate.
You know what it is? So, but I really enjoy football. I really suck playing football, So I wouldn't try, and I'm not very good at all. So I let that for the, we have good players. We are taken care of, I think, as far as good players in our country. So.
Her ease in front of the camera has helped open the door to a possible new career as an actress. After making her movie debut in Taxi in 2004, she made a high-profile appearance in the 2006 blockbuster Devil Wears Prada as a bitchy assistant. She's also in line for a plum role in the follow-up to The Da Vinci Code. Perhaps Gisele picked up a few acting tips from her 5-year romance with aviator Leonardo DiCaprio. Their on-again, off-again relationship finally ended in 2005, after which Gisele started dating surf god Kelly Slater. Meanwhile, she's been adding to her fortune by getting into bed with Brazil's largest shoe manufacturer to market her own range of sandalwear called Ipanema. She's also been keeping fit, and not just to look good.
So I do it much more for my brain, which is 100 miles an hour, to calm down than for anything else. But naturally, it helps my body too. But I think exercising in any way, it's important. Just keep moving, just move in some way, because that's important for your body.
This rap impresario was only 2 years old when his father was shot dead in his car. What effect this tragic waste of a life had on the young Sean Combs is impossible to conclude. But one thing's for sure, he certainly isn't wasting his. Even while he was at college in Washington, he was doing an internship at Uptown Records and earning himself a reputation as a party promoter. By the age of 24, he'd set up his Bad Boy record label, signing artists such as Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Father MC. He also juggled his own recording career as Puff Daddy with producing the likes of Mary J. Blige, Usher, and Mariah Carey. Not content with cornering the hip-hop music scene, he set about building a clothing empire, designing for his two labels Sean John and Sean by Sean Combs. His efforts have earned him constant praise at the Council of Fashion Designers of America Awards.
I mean, I feel like I'm an American designer that's trying to be an American designer, like purposely trying to promote being an American designer, trying to put some fire up underneath the asses of the European designers that have done such a great job. But at the end of the day, I'm wilder, I'm crazier. A lot of us are wilder and crazier. We just need a chance to really break through.
And he didn't stop at the clothes.
This is my new sneaker. I call it, I don't call it, it's not just a sneaker, it's not a shoe, it's luxury footwear. And it's a void that I'm feeling in the marketplace. You know, as a designer, you know, people wonder, like, why do you design rims? Why do you design sneakers? Why do you design different things? You know, I'm just like, you know, I love it. A thing that's clean. I have a certain aesthetic, a certain eye. You know, it's like somebody asking Howard Hughes, you know, why was he interested in certain things? There's things that I love to design right. And when I see things and it's not right, I try to get them right. And so when I look at footwear, sneakers, it's so athletic. There's no fashion sneakers that are out there. And so that's what I went and designed.
And what celebrity designer worth their salt doesn't have their own scent?
Every year I come to Saint-Tropez with my family on vacation. It's a place that's beautiful. It's nothing like this place in the whole wide world. And, you know, I think this is the perfect place to celebrate the success of Unforgivable.
He's even found the time to launch a program called Citizen Change, which is dedicated to encouraging young Americans to vote and take an active interest in politics.
Fighting a struggle to make people, especially young people, understand the importance and the power of their one vote. And I think we made a lot of headway, and I think, you know, for this next election coming up, I think you'll see a lot of young voters out in force.
Along the way, he's also dated Jennifer Lopez, had 5 children with 3 different women, been in big trouble with the law, and courted major controversy over his promotional activities and alleged use of sweatshops. And if it seems as though he's living more than one life, that's probably because there's more than one person inside Sean John, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Puffy, Diddy Combs.
I'm Diddy in the United States. In the UK, I'm P. Diddy. And it was just lucky for me that I had more than one name to choose from. I got a call that somebody said that they had the rights to the name Diddy. And I was like, you know, I respect that. You know, I have no problem with it. You know, I'll just be P. Diddy in the UK. So it was kind of funny to me. But everybody jokes about the different name changes. But being that I have many names, it came out as a blessing.
By 2002, he'd made Fortune magazine's 40 richest people under 40 list. And within 2 years, he'd run a marathon for charity and appeared on Broadway in the 2004 revival of the Lorraine Hansberry play Raisin in the Sun. At the end of 2006, he released his 5th album, Press Play, and welcomed twin girls with his then-girlfriend, Kim Porter. 6 months later, after revelations that Diddy had done the dirty with another woman, the couple announced a split. This famous amputee once modelled to raise funds for refugees. Depending on who you talk to, Heather Mills is either an angel...
She's warm, she's loving, she's generous, and those qualities are very evident when you meet her.
...or the devil.
She is trying to desperately destroy a legend. She's destroying a national treasure. I don't know what she's playing at. I think she's a very, very wicked sado who needs an awful lot of help.
But then emotions were running high in 2006 in the wake of her split from Beatle legend Sir Paul McCartney. The announcement came hot on the heels of tabloid revelations about Heather's past, allegedly exposing her as a former porn star and high-class prostitute. Branded Lady Mucker by the gutter press, she dug herself even deeper by daring to accuse Sir Paul of domestic violence, drunkenness and drug abuse. Spin King publicist Max Clifford sniffed the air and made this pronouncement.
Paul McCartney is extremely popular. Heather Mills has never been anything but extremely unpopular. I think that as the last few months have unfolded, her popularity has gone down even further than it was, if that's possible.
Paul's family and huge circle of influential friends closed ranks, and Heather was left out in the cold. But the battler from Aldershot, Hampshire wasn't taking it lying down. Nor was she letting her lack of a leg stand in the way of signing up for a stint on the US version of Dancing with the Stars. Her sheer pluck earned her 6 weeks on the top rating show and a chance to shine with Tyra Banks.
When you're dancing, do you ever have any worries that my leg is going to do something that it's not supposed to do? Do you ever worry about that?
When you lose your leg, you think, can I do this, can I do that? And I didn't have anybody to look to teach me or let me know it was going to be okay. So I went on the disco floor, and of course everyone's a bit drunk and all the lights are flashing everywhere, and I'm dancing away, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great, it feels so free. And of course I didn't think the socket got heated up because it's made of silicone, and it just fell, and the leg just slid along the dance floor. And of course half the people were drunk or off their heads on stuff, so they were completely freaking out because it was the leg that looked really real like that. And the problem was you can't just pick it up and put it on. You've got to kind of pull your trousers down and adjust it. So I kind of got my leg, put it under my arm, and hopped out the disco and just fell through a fire escape and hitched my, skirt and trousers down and popped it back on and came back out again. But everyone was freaked out for a little while.
But being a role model for the disabled is just one of the many causes Heather has been ploughing her energies into since she lost her leg in a freak motorcycle accident in London in 1993, which also left her with a broken hip and a punctured lung. Taking on board Sir Paul's commitment to animal activism, she's taken part in many campaigns for animal rights organisations, such as PETA and Vive. One of her most passionate causes has been the fight to end the practice of live dog skinning.
It's not about dictating to somebody freedom of choice and all that rubbish. We're talking about skinning animals alive for fashion. It's inhumane, it's barbaric, and it's absolutely unnecessary. So PETA basically kept pushing, and we got the fantastic news yesterday, and I was just, I can't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
Although she's since been dropped as a spokesperson for PETA upon the insistence of Paul's eldest daughter, Maria, Heather has continued to campaign for animal rights. She recently delivered a petition to Britain's Prime Minister protesting about a London store's use of cruel practices in pig farming. She's also helped raise awareness and funds for anti-landmine campaigns, as well as providing practical help to get false limbs to where they are needed. It is such work for the victims of landmines that earned Heather a Children in Need Award in 2004. The same year, she was also honoured with the University of California's Human Security Award and the creation of the Heather Mills McCartney Fellowship. This Canadian virtuoso is the uncle of Pink Panther and Night at the Museum director Sean Levy. The man with the bushy eyebrows has been making us laugh in supporting roles since National Lampoon's Vacation and Splash in the 80s. But until recently, most casual cinema goers would have been hard-pressed to place the name Eugene Levy. After a swag of smaller roles, his breakthrough role came as the geeky father in 1999's sleeper hit American Pie. He reprised the role in the film's 4 subsequent sequels, 2 of which went straight to video. And in 2006, his name finally appeared above the titles in the comedy cop caper The Man, co-starring Samuel L. Jackson. In an interview about the film, Samuel paid tribute to Eugene's comic mastery.
I learned from Eugene and watching him that you really don't have to force it. There's a natural way, an organic way to make those things happen.
Starting out in the classic comic sketch series Second City Toronto, Eugene cut his teeth impersonating people like Ricardo Montalban, Henry Kissinger and Muammar al-Gaddafi before appearing in the 1986 John Candy vehicle, Armed and Dangerous. Ever since then, he's been a regular fixture in mainstream American comedies, more often than not typecast as a few sandwiches short of a packed lunch. But as well as the acting, he's also been carving a name for himself as a director, musician and writer. And in 1991, he got the chance to spar with his idol, Steve Martin.
I grew up on Steve Martin. I bought his albums. I was a huge fan of Steve's going back to the 70s, and I've been very fortunate in the last few years to be able to work closely with him and develop a lovely friendship with him.
The pair have teamed up many times since, in films like Bringing Down the House and Cheaper by the Dozen 2, for which they did their own stunts.
I did some portaging.
You did have to bring in a stuntman when you had to kiss Carmen.
Yeah, well, because that had to be done
by a professional
properly.
But perhaps where Eugene has showcased his many talents best is in his collaboration with Christopher Guest, whose spoof rock documentary This Is Spinal Tap is credited with giving birth to the mockumentary genre. Eugene and Christopher got together to write and star in 1996's musical mockumentary Waiting for Guffman. Eugene also co-wrote all the film's songs. They followed up with Best in Show. The hilarious exposé of the dog show community still sits at number 38 on Bravo's list of funniest films. The pressure was on to come up with the goods again. They responded 3 years later with A Mighty Wind, which tracks a bunch of fictitious folk artists in the build-up to their big concert reunion. The film's original songs ended up winning Eugene and Christopher Grammy Awards, and no one was more proud of their achievement than ensemble cast member Bob Balaban.
I'm sure there was a lot of pressure to come up with something, and I don't think they gave in to the pressure. I think they just took their time, they sat around and they waited for inspiration to strike. And when this thing struck, just look at the pictures of their faces up there, those smiling, goofy, ridiculous, optimistic faces, in spite of the fact that they're all in a profession that doesn't exist anymore. Just that is just, it's just so exciting. And the fact that they sing beautifully and can play these instruments.
In 2006's For Your Consideration, they took on Hollywood's ability to turn ordinary actors into monsters at the mere whisper of an Oscar. Both men had been in the business long enough to attest to the film's accuracy.
Oh, it absolutely exists. Yeah, I think and it probably exists in a much thicker way than even what we portrayed in the movie. You know, the idea of people getting caught up in this Oscar hype and the kind of roller coaster ride that it will take a potential nominee on.